Well, here now with more reaction, Tennessee Senator Marsha Blackburn. Great to see you. Thanks for coming in.
Sure.
So, during this period of time where we were waiting for some of these deals to get done, the argument was that China was going to start making all these side deals with other countries, and that was going to take the United States out of the conversation. That clearly didn't happen.
You're right about that. It did not happen. What has happened is by President Trump being bold, moving forward, putting the tariffs in place, and then saying we want to get rid of these tariffs, go to reciprocal tariffs, get rid of the non-tariff trade barriers, and focus on trade that is going to be good for American consumers. And by the way, we want to bring jobs back to the USA. And countries have lined up. They need our market more than we need theirs. And getting this trade in goods deficit dealt with, which last year our deficit with China was $300 billion. Yeah. Katie, that is our largest deficit. Mexico is the second largest deficit. And President Trump and Secretary Besson and others that are working on this, they're doing the right thing because people have come to the table. And I will tell you, with UK, with China, and then you look at what is happening with the pharmaceutical executive order, you look at Putin and Zelensky meeting in Turkey to work things out. President Donald Trump has had a very good week, and it's good for the American people.
Yeah, we're talking about global deals, other countries, but it really comes back to the fact that he wants to benefit Americans.
That's right.
So what are you hearing from your constituents in Tennessee about these kinds of tariffs going against China? Of course, a number of the steel workers and auto workers from Pennsylvania and Michigan were at Liberation Day just a month and a half ago, supporting the president, asking Americans to be patient with him. So what are you hearing from people in your state about, about these tariffs?
Yes, and we're working very closely with them, whether they make automobiles or boats or entertainment equipment, medical supplies. We're working with them and with the U.S. Trade Rep office to make certain that they have the opportunity to move those supply lines out of China, and that things that they cannot get anywhere else other than China, that there is going to be some way to deal with this. Our goal is to help President Trump reinvigorate the U.S. economy, to make certain we're prosperous once again, and our goal is to protect our Tennessee manufacturers and make certain that as this economy begins to grow, that they are leading the way. We think Tennessee should be the leader in domestic production in so many sectors. We should be the leader in producing domestic energy, and we are up to that task, and people they're working hard to make certain that they are going to be a part of the golden age of America.
Yeah, there's a lot of wonderful people in Tennessee, and we have 50 great states with all kinds of resources that they can use to move the country forward. But I brought up earlier this issue of intellectual property.
Yes.
So one of the biggest concerns that businesses have when they go into the Chinese market is that all of their intellectual property is going to be stolen. Most importantly, this is a national security issue when it comes to AI, IP, also when it comes to important things like steel to build ships. And so where are we with the national security angle of taking on China on Capitol Hill with the tariffs?
And indeed, intellectual property, as you mentioned, is a big part of that, because people innovate. They come up with the concept, they have taken it to China, China has stolen that intellectual property, and they've reverse engineered those products. And this is one of the reasons for getting those critical supply lines out of China and making certain that the tariffs are going to benefit U.S. steel production and our rare earth minerals, that we have access to those. This is not only good for the U.S., this is where we go to our allies. And this is why using tariffs, getting people to the table, constructing these trade deals, so we're going to be able to reinvigorate U.S. and friendshoring of production of these critical supply lines, medical equipment supplies.
We learned that during COVID.
Look at that.
Yes.
That's right. When you look at energy production, transformers, we're all beginning to look at small modular reactors and micro reactors. We're looking at hyperscalers and data centers, and all of the production you're going to need going into that. So in Tennessee, we are saying we're here, we're ready to go with this, and people are looking forward to growing their manufacturing base and thereby growing their production and their exports. This means higher wages, it means more jobs. People that doubted President Trump, I loved what Stephen Moore said, because we all know he doesn't like tariffs. But President Trump very wisely got people to the table. And in 1 week, we have seen 2 big deals announced. We know there are so many others that are in the works, and of course, to paper the deal is going to take a little bit longer, but to get these deals in principle and get them announced is such a huge win for the American people. And I think you saw the reaction in the market today.
You will see that going forward as well.
That's right. The market responded well to this because President Trump once again has shown that he's right about the approach on this.
Well, we'll look for what Washington, D.C. as well can do and Capitol Hill to codify these policies to make sure they stay in place. So we'll be in touch. Thank you for coming in. It's great.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.